Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm here at Apex 2020 and I'm joined by David Fradis from Cybord. David, thanks for joining me. You're not a company we've seen a lot of these trade shows before, so relatively new to the industry. So start by telling me a bit about the business and what you do, and then we'll talk a bit about the technology, the revolutionary technology you're bringing to market.
Absolutely. So basically, we're a startup out of Israel. We've been around for a year and a half developing our technology. It only matured 3 months ago, so we launched our first product. We started from a real problem. Our founder is an R&D guy for the defense contractor. Developed a defense mechanism, new technology, 12 years in development. They launched it, and 3 months later, it crashed.
Okay.
6 months later, and a couple of $1 million away, they found out that this $400 billion contract crashed due to a 6-cent capacitor.
Wow.
Trying to figure out how that happened, they figured out that the component was counterfeit. And they went on a blaming game. The manufacturer, how did it get there? They checked the paperwork. Everything was in order. Of course, it's a defense contractor. You don't get a more secure supply chain than that. And yet, there it was. So our founder tried to find out whether or not there are better solutions, and there weren't. So he went out and developed a technology, created a technology that solved his problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's how we entered the space.
Yeah, and counterfeit manufacturing is huge. Whenever there's supply chain disruption, which there is now, more counterfeits enter the market. People tend to be working with manufacturers that they perhaps haven't worked with before, and further down from the traditional tiers of suppliers. So there's more and more concern. So how do you go about detecting counterfeits in your supply chain?
Okay, so first of all, it's based on imaging. We use component images that we retrieve either from the pick and place machine,
Right.
or from our standalone machine that is really a reel-to-reel machine that we retrofitted with a camera.
Okay.
We actually can use a cell phone camera today, and it would still work.
Okay. So you're using raw images, you're not using X-rays, you're not using
Nothing.
three-dimensional images, you're using raw images. You can take existing images from equipment that is already in the line,
Absolutely.
or you can run a reel-to-reel process that basically unrolls and re-rolls and checks every component.
Yeah, the issue with using it on the pick and place machine is that it's really close to production. It's like a second away from the board. You don't want to have that component a second away from the board.
It's nice to know earlier.
Absolutely. So we have both solutions, since some of our clients would rather have it not disrupt their flow, and just having it on the pick and place machine is it's seamless for them.
Yeah.
The machine is there; they know how to work with it. Nothing needs to be changed really. Having another station at the warehouse acceptance changes a bit the flow.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we process it using our artificial intelligence algorithms. Our founder found out a way to fingerprint manufacturers.
Okay.
We don't do image comparison at all. We have a fingerprint for many manufacturers. We're not over all of them yet, but we have the fingerprints of many manufacturers. We can tell which component was manufactured by which manufacturer, and that's how we basically tell whether or not they're counterfeit. I mean, if it's not, if a Murata wasn't produced by a Murata, it's counterfeit. Yeah.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And you're using AI to do that, so the AI is becoming more intelligent and faster, and you're sourcing data from multiple machines to create that machine learning?
Yeah, we basically use each and every component we scan. We have a pre-process for components we don't know. Like, we haven't scanned all of them. There's a huge variety. So we use pre-processing algorithms that basically evaluate whether or not the reel is real. That's the first step, because we can't guarantee it. I mean, we had numerous examples of authorized suppliers that had counterfeit components infiltrate. Really, every lot we tested, not every reel, but every lot that came from authorized suppliers was infected with authorized suppliers. It's about 2 to 4%. IPC places it at up to 20%. Okay, so it fluctuates.
Yeah.
And it has naturally a lot of ramifications. I mean, it has a ramification for an RMA, for instance. Usually, the guys from the RMA department blame it on the engineers. Now, engineers know what they're doing. They're good guys. I mean, they do their best and they know their work. So it's unlikely that it's an engineering defect. Otherwise, most of your products would come back. So why only several? So usually we found that many times it's due to the counterfeit components, because most common one is redating. Okay, you take an old component, end-of-life component, you just scratch off the date, you put on a new one, and there you have it. But it's an end-of-life component. It will work for a month, 2 months. You can't detect it. You can't detect it during QA at the manufacturer, and then it will just die because these components they have electrons running through them very fast.
So it causes a problem. So it seems like the hardware is a relatively simple or existing solution.
Only existing. We don't do any.
So how do people access the service? Do they buy it on a subscription basis? Do they buy the software and then you keep that updated?
It's a subscription base. Okay. We sell a subscription due to the fact that it's updated all the time. I mean, it's on the fly all the time. We don't update all of our machines on the fly because many of our manufacturers don't like their machines to be online. I mean, you don't put your production line online.
It's full of IP and
you don't know who's trying to get in, and you don't want to know, and you just keep it offline. So we have in-house servers. We have people that come and update them every now and again. Naturally, if we have permission to use the internet, then the algorithm is updated
frequently online.
A couple of times a day, really.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it sounds like a great model. I understand how it works. I think it will be very interesting for the industry to have a accessible solution that they can turn on quickly using existing hardware. I think that's particularly attractive. I wish you every luck with it, and look forward to hearing more about it over the coming months. Thank you.
Absolutely.